Have you ever wondered how long it would take to fill a stadium with water? Well, probably not, but this story will blow your mind. I'm going to show you just how your money can grow exponentially like a snowball going downhill. So stay with me on this. You do not want to miss this story. I'm John MacGregor, and welcome to another edition of Wired for Wealth, guiding you to achieve lasting financial freedom and peace of mind. I want to be your antidote to your financial struggles. My goal for you is so that you can think better, so you can do better, so you can feel better about your financial situation. I want to talk about exponential growth because it's super important you understand this concept, because we as humans are surrounded by this concept of exponential growth. So let me ask you, imagine the largest stadium you know of. The University of Michigan Stadium comes to mind for me. There might be a bigger one, but this thing is enormous. It holds almost 110,000 people. I mean, it's just huge. Okay, now imagine you just made this stadium watertight, all right? You got the concept in your mind? And you took a water dropper, just a small little water dropper, and imagine you took a drop of water and you dropped it into this stadium every minute. And every minute you do that, you double it. So the first minute's 1 drop, the second minute's 2 drops, the third minute's 4 drops, the fourth minute, 8 drops. And by the fifth minute, it would be 16 drops, which would basically fill a thimble. And you just continue and you continue and you go, right? How long do you think it'll take to fill that stadium? Go ahead and think about that for just a second. In fact, go ahead and put your answer in the comments section. I'm going to pause here just a minute here, so you can kind of think again, how long would it take to fill that stadium, that massive stadium, with a dripper? First minute, and every minute you're doubling the amount of drops that you're putting in there. You ready? It would be 51 minutes. That's right. 51 minutes before you have completely filled that stadium. Let me ask you another question. Let's say you found a stadium that's even twice as big as the University of Michigan Stadium, right? Seats 220,000 people. How long would it take to fill that stadium once you filled the first stadium? 1 more minute, 52 minutes, right? Because you've just doubled the amount. You see there? Here's a more important question. At what point would your stadium still be 97% empty? In other words, only 3% of your stadium is full. Think about that one for a second. The answer is 47 minutes into it. 47 minutes, and you're only 3% full. 4 or 5 minutes later, you are completely full. It's those last 5 minutes where exponential growth explodes. It goes from 3% full, right, to 6%, we just doubled, to 12, to 24, to 48, to 96, and boom, it is full. I mean, this is a perfect analogy for our current debt situation, right, in society. And our leaders have no clue how this works. And I'm going to talk about our debt situation in another episode because it's extremely important you understand what's going on, because a lot of people really don't understand our debt crisis that's going on in this society, and that our leaders just continue to add more debt. It's an open checkbook to print as much monopoly money as they want. And there's a whole other reason behind this that I'm going to get into and I'm going to address in another episode. But today I really want to focus on you growing your money over time. Exponentially, not quite as fast as the stadium example, right? Because it's not doubling every minute, but pretty darn fast. And I think it's important for you to realize as you think about your own financial situation, especially if you're starting out or no matter where you are in the spectrum of life, this is a very, very powerful concept. And it really, what caused me to think about this is the other day, I got a financial statement from Vanguard, right? And about 20, I don't know, I was trying to guess. I was 22 years ago, late 1998, around there. I was doing well financially, and I had maximized my retirement accounts and my other retirement accounts. I saved my emergency accounts and all that stuff. And I had some extra money that I didn't know what to do with. Of course, I knew what I'd do with it, but I was wondering, if I was thinking forward, what should I be doing, planning for the future? Keep in mind, I wasn't dating anybody. I had no kids. I wasn't married or anything like that. And I thought, you know what? I'm 28 years old or so. I'll probably have kids one day. Why don't I set up a college fund? Even though I don't have kids and I'm not even dating anyone, right? So I put $20,000 into this Vanguard statement. I haven't seen the statement, I think, maybe 3 years. I just throw them away. Started with $20,000. And this statement just a couple of days ago, actually it was at the end of December 2021. It's now close to $85,000. And all I did was I invested it in an S&P 500 index, a US growth index, a small cap index. These are smaller companies, and then an international index fund. All equities. I didn't want any bonds because this thing was going to be growing forever. And $20,000 is now $85,000. And that's despite everything that's gone on in society from 1998 till today. I mean, think of all the craziness that we've seen, all the markets up and downs. That's even including the Great Recession, the mortgage meltdown we saw in 07 and 08. This thing has continued to grow over time. And so that day may happen. I hopefully it does. I just got married, so we'll see. But if and when that does happen, our child or children are going to be very well set for college if they choose to attend. And if it continues on this trajectory for the next 20 years, we're looking at $391,000 in 20 years. If I just let it go as it has, almost $400,000. Now, by that time in 20 years, that might be the price of 1 year of tuition, but at least it'll cover something, right? That's the power of compounding. And again, I haven't even looked at this statement in over 2 years, maybe even longer. I think I rebalanced it a couple of times over the last several years. But again, this was a set and forget. And I'm sure glad I set that up. That is the power of compounding. And think about this. If you were to put away $1,000 a month or $12,000 per year at an 8% rate of return. Now, I use 8% because on average, the market over time, going back the last 100 years, has averaged 10%. That doesn't mean 10% every year. That means it's up 15 one year, down 2 the next, up 6, down 5, up 10, down 3. You see, we all know the markets do this, but if you smooth out those returns, on average, the market has done approximately 10% on average, right? So I'm using a little conservative number, 8%. So again, $1,000 a month, 8%, 30 years, you're looking at $1.5 million. And here's where our water example comes in. You do this for another 5 years. So instead of just 30 years, now you're doing 35 years, another 5 years, you're looking at $2.2 million. I mean, think what that would mean to your retirement, especially given everything that's going on, the pension insecurity, underfunded, Social Security going bankrupt essentially in 2034. That's just in 10 or so years. Think of what $2.2 million or even $1.5 million would mean to you and your family and your retirement. I mean, it's insane. Insanely good, I mean. And for you older people, it's never too late to start this. Yes, you may have to accelerate the amount of money you're putting in. Maybe it's time to cut back expenses. Maybe it's time to look for a side hustle, increase your revenue, lower your expenses. Look, this is not about sacrificing your gratification. This is about delaying your gratification, working hard, focused on building assets, cash flow, watching your expenses. This is about decades of freedom, positioning yourself for decades of financial freedom and peace of mind. And I cannot tell you how great a feeling that is. So when you think about putting money away, even if it's $100 or whatever that money, whatever that amount is, into your 401k or into your IRAs or your Roth accounts, or even in just to a regular savings account that you're investing, just a little bit every single month can go a long, long way. And my goal for you right now is to at least see if you can generate $1,000 to put away every single month. And if that means lowering your expenses, then so be it. That's what you got to do. It all comes down to your priority, how you want to live your life in the future. So with that, I hope that story was mind-boggling as it was for me. Just amazing. So as you go about your life, think about that stadium and that dropper and how quickly things can accelerate and really pay off for you. Pay this forward and send this video to your friends and your colleagues and your family, because this could really mean a big difference to them and their life. I got a ton of free downloads on my website that you can download immediately to start your journey to financial freedom and peace of mind. And don't forget, I've just launched my game changer, my paradigm shifting financial program called Thrive Path. This is the revolutionary process to your financial freedom and peace of mind. This process, this program that I lay out, gets to the core of why you're struggling financially, and then offers a meaningful and effective solution to get out of the rat race, to once and for all live the rich life you deserve. So you can go check that out on my website. With that, we'll see you next time. Don't forget, ring the bell and subscribe, and don't forget to leave your comments. We'll see you next time. Take care. Upward and onward. Bye-bye.